What's happening? All right. I'm heading towards Mississippi from Georgia. I'm on US 411. I kind of like this highway, but let me tell you what just happened. My fuel um, route where I'm supposed to pick up fuel. Get in there, it's packed like crazy. It's like, oh, come on, I don't have time to be screwing around. And all of a sudden you start hearing over the CB that there's no fuel. So while I'm waiting in line, I call the front desk, and yeah, sure enough, there's no fuel. So I call. I can't do just a macro 27. It's going to tell me to get fuel where I'm at, and plus, a company driver can't do them more than 20. You can only do one every 24 hours. So I called the fuel desk, and she said, yeah, you have to call your fleet manager. So again, I had to call my fleet manager, which I didn't want to have to do, but it takes forever over to Qualcomm. I'd have been sitting there for 2 hours waiting for him to get me a fuel route. So he answers. Everything seems to be okay. I can't tell whether he's in a good or bad mood, but I tell him what's up. And so he starts looking for a different place to fuel up at, and he was having a little bit of a problem because it kept telling him to fill up at that Love's. So he finally says, okay, I got you at a Pilot, I-75 exit 2, I think it was 293. It's like, all right, do you have an address for it? Oh man. Now remember, this is my fleet manager, Mr. Do not like GPS. So he goes, I should have asked him if he had a code. I could have put it in the Qualcomm. So he goes, no, I don't have an address for it. What do you need an address for? I just told you it's on I-75 exit 293. I'm like, okay, but I'm at 286, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to go north or south, whether the exits are going up or down. Where you were, so you were just on the 75. Didn't you pay attention to which way they're going? Well, to be honest with everybody, no. Why am I paying attention to which way they're going? I mean, yes, I am. I see they're going a certain way because I'm looking, I was looking for the exit where this fuel stop was, the exit number, but it's not, I'm looking for that particular number. And when he asked about it, I'm drawing a blank. Oh, I can't remember. Were they lower numbers? Were they higher numbers? So I don't know. I just kind of giggled or laughed and said, "All right, well, I'll deal with it." And so when I got off the phone with him, I googled I asked him for the store number, and he said it's 067. So I went to the Love's or the Pilot app, and I put in 067, and it gave me the address. And then shortly after that, I realized, oh, wait a minute, I can just go to my Rand McNally. And I went on my Rand McNally, and I already tried to see if it was in my route, and it wasn't. It wasn't showing up as in route. So I did a search of Pilot Flying J's in the near my truck. And what it will do is it'll start out my truck and work its way out in every direction. And sure enough, boom, there it was. I think it was like 8 miles away. Jumped on the, here, that water's gross looking. Jumped on I-75, went up to the exit, got off, got my fuel. And then I quickly looked to see who I'm going to follow. Both my GPSs were within 5 miles of each other. But so far they're running identical. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes they look different, but they're actually identical because, like, mine's telling me US 411, 411, 411. The company Qualcomm was said 411. Now it's telling me to make a turn at Veterans Memorial Highway in 8 miles. Well, and then go to Georgia Loop. Well, I've already looked at the atlas, and this 411 looks like the better way to go. So I'm going to go 411. I couldn't find that Georgia loop in my atlas, but I'm sure it's fine. It shows on the Qualcomm that it's a truck approved route, but yeah, I like to go with what I know, what I've researched. Now, Prime on the fuel route or fuel plan, they give you directions. It looks like a bunch of gibberish. It will say I-29, I-29, which I think is 9 miles, I-75, 30, which is I-75, 30. No one's ever really explained to me how that works, and it, in this day and age, that's how they did it old school. They used to, map it out that way. So I kind of mapped it out with my Rand McNally, and they're pretty much the same. The fuel plan takes you on 411 for a distance to I-20 to 82, and that's what my Rand McNally is doing. The company GPS, the Navigo, is detouring a little bit. But yeah, I mean, if I had to navigate with that fuel plan, I could figure it out. I mean, it's just a matter of looking at your atlas and going, okay, this highway there's that, and make your plan. You want to go left, right, so on and so forth. But here's a little more of some scenery here on what you'll be looking at when you're cruising down these highways. The other thing is I've been told a million times that you have to follow their fuel route or their directions, which I always assumed it was the directions on the Qualcomm, but I think the directions on the Qualcomm and the directions with the fuel route are actually different than each other. But I'm getting a little worried about my fleet manager. He's so dead against a lot of things, GPS and things like that. It's almost like I get nervous when I plan this stuff out because, man, if the GPS took me wrong, oh my gosh, he'll call me to Salt Lake so he can cut my head off because he thinks if you're using GPS, you're an idiot, which I say if you're blindly following GPS, you're an idiot. You guys know I always say, know where you're going, look where you're going. And, know where you're going. Anyhow, you guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to try to get a couple more videos up soon. And we'll talk to you later.